Hello everyone, I'm Mark Cook. I'm the CEO of Shiny Shoe. We are the creators of Monster Train. Welcome to another Monster Train developer stream. Today is March 18th, 2021. As usual, my cat is already meowing. He wants to know why I'm talking. Let's just get it over with. Let's put him on stream right now. Come on. Okay, here's Chief. Let's get him on. All right. You wanted your few moments of fame here? You gonna keep meowing at me all stream? Okay, please don't. Alright, there's the cat. Okay, let's hope he chills out. He may not. Of course, we've been leading up to this for a long time now to talk about Monster Train. The Last Divinity, our first downloadable content expansion pack, is coming out very, very soon. So it is coming out in 1 week from today. We will finally be launching that. I'm super excited. I really think it adds a lot of cool content to the game, and I hope that people out there are going to love it. And preparing for lining up for it. We've got all platforms now ready to go. Everything's locked in. Everything's locked and loaded. Past certification. Just gonna have to hit some buttons next Thursday morning, and are excited to see folks in the community streaming the game with the new content to kind of see what types of strategies that people take on. So I'm definitely going to be watching that. We have a number of things to announce today, though, before we jump into gameplay. I will say that gameplay-wise, I am going to be playing against the Last Divinity. That was requested 2 weeks ago. I've kept starting streams at the beginning, like starting a new run at the beginning, and never have enough time to fully make it to the Last Divinity. So Amphid SF from our private beta and Monster Train community gave me a save game that's already at the Last Divinity, so I'm going to resume that. I have no idea really what's in the deck, so we're going to have to look at that together. All right, Kenshiro Nox. Will there be an option to zoom into the card for the logbook with the expansion? The art is so good. That's a great idea. We are not going to be launching a feature like that immediately, but I think we could definitely consider it. I think it's a cool idea, and we have on the dev team scaled the cards up big ourselves to look at them, and they still do look great. So I think it would be cool to put that in. So thank you for this suggestion. We will think about it. Advice: are there announcements of pre-launch streams of any kind? Well, Genesee at Good Shepherd would be a better person to answer that. We are definitely going to be doing some streaming. And I don't mean just myself. Yes, I'm going to stream, but I'm the least interesting streamer in terms of advanced gameplay. So, Genesee, I don't know what we can say. Maybe you can post it in chat. I just don't want to say the wrong thing. So, all right. Kojuhan says, how much text does the DLC add? I love lore. Well, it adds a lot. I mean, there's a bunch of new cards. There's a bunch for the Wormkin clan. There's new clanless cards that come out of Concealed Caverns events. There's one new rare card in each of the 5 original clans, so all of those have lore. There's a new set of artifacts for the Wormkin. All of those have lore. There's 10 new clanless artifacts. All of those have lore. All of the new Concealed Caverns artifacts have additional lore. There's some new characters. At least one new major kind of character in the Concealed Caverns that has multiple events associated with it that has new lore and new story behind it. So I'd say there's a decent chunk. Exactly how many words? I don't know. It's over 10,000, I think. And I'm just thinking back to the costs of localizing the game and how many words we got billed for. So it's a significant chunk of new content, and as always, most of the new words whenever we update the game and add new lore is actually the lore, is the bulk of the words, since there's so much for each lore entry. All right, so jumping over, happy to keep taking questions and so on. Jumping over to some of the announcements. So we just talked about this. Last Divinity, next week, 7 days from now, coming out. All platforms we currently ship on: Steam, GOG, and the Xbox family, as I've been calling it, Xbox One and Windows 10 Store. And it's playable on Xbox Series already in the backwards compatibility mode. In a fun, kind of just happy announcement for us, we passed 500,000 unique players a week or two back, and we just put out a Steam post on the community, like a blog post announcing that. So thank you all for being a part of our community of players. So happy to have you all here, and we're just so happy that you like the game. So thank you very much for being here for this stream, or if you're watching this video as a VOD, thank you for being part of the Monster Train community. We really appreciate it, and hope that we can get to 1 million over time in the Monster Train universe. All right. What else is going on? Never Nathaniel, who is a member of our community, is running another community tournament this coming Saturday. I don't have the link. I'm not going to put it on screen. Someone can post it in chat, or you can come to our Discord at discord.gg/monstertrain to get more information. But if you're interested in participating in that, could be fun. Streamers like Sanguine Penguin are going to be participating. So, it could be a fun kind of way to test your skills against other advanced players. It's definitely some of the hardcore players are in there. So check that out if you are interested. Another kind of just little operational note: on March 25th, next week, when the DLC comes out, The Last Divinity, we will also be patching the soundtrack. If you're an owner of the soundtrack, there is one new track, music track in the game, which is for the Last Divinity battle, and we'll be making sure that that's out. Hopefully it'll also be out on Spotify and all the other streaming services by that time, but we will definitely be patching it on Steam right at launch time. Chaos Stripe says DLC price. So we've announced this a few times. It's $11.99 in the United States, and whatever normal regional pricing that maps to where you are. Kojuhan says, is Exile Wormkin Bug Biker Hero the only free bug? It does look like a big biker hero. The only free bug. I'm trying to figure out what you mean by free bug, so I don't know. Let's go with yes. Viable Gaming. Will current Herzl's Cup streaks be lost if you face the Last Divinity? That is a good question. I don't know the answer for sure, but my guess would be that if you're playing with the Last Divinity enabled, Herzl's Cup streaks require you to continue them, require you to defeat the Last Divinity, I think. If anybody in the chat knows for sure, please answer. I'm not 100% sure on that. That would be my kind of assumption for how it would work. And as we've looked at before, you can turn the Last Divinity content on and off at will if you're an owner. Both if you just don't want to play with it for some reason, that's an option. But really the main reason why we put that in there is so that you can play multiplayer with non-owners if you want. There's essentially now 2 daily challenges. There's one for owners of the Last Divinity, and there's one for non-owners. Everybody can play in the one for non-owners, and then owners of the Last Divinity can play in both if they want. And there's different matchmaking pools for Hell Rush and so on related to whether or not you own the DLC. Amphid SF says that you lose your streak if you lose on the Last Divinity, that's what my assumption was. Cross Canada says, are there new expert challenges? Yes, there are. There are 5 new expert challenges leveraging a variety of new mutators. So that's something that I actually think we need to go back and amend our patch notes. I'm just remembering that we did not mention the fact that there are new mutators in the patch notes, so I need to go back and add those. So there are new expert challenges, and on top of there being 5 new expert challenges, we are also tracking whether or not you've achieved a divine victory on all expert challenges. There's either 25 or 30 of them now, I can't remember. But a divine victory is when you win and you also defeat the Last Divinity. So even if you've already cleared all the expert challenges, we're tracking, you can clear them again with a Last Divinity kill as an additional challenge. Each expert challenge gets kind of like 2 check marks for defeated the Seraph version of it and then defeated the Last Divinity as well. And that, of course, extends to the new expert challenges too. Sarcastic Panda 101. Thoughts on a new Dragon Dinosaur S clan? P.S. Hi, Mark. Hi! A Dragon Dinosaur S clan. That'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm into both of those things. Both dragons and dinosaurs. I'd have to think, like, which ring of hell would they come from, given each clan is, like, kind of associated with a specific ring of hell. It's interesting to think about. I like dinos, though. I mean, a lot of people like dinosaurs, so I'm into that idea. All right. I've got one other special thing to show before we go to the game. We're going to premiere the trailer for the DLC here for The Last Divinity. Now, I want to warn, before I show this trailer is going to say it's out now. It is not actually out now. This trailer is going to be posted and sent around in 1 week from now. But I can show it on stream just so you guys can get a preview of what it looks like. So remember, it's going to say out now at the end. It is not actually out now. It's still 7 more days from right now. Today's March 18th. But yeah, check it out. And then I'll jump back to questions.
Just when you thought hell was safe, the damned cry for your help again. Monster Trade's first DLC. Hell of a lot of content.
All right, not actually out now. Just a reminder, in case you forgot. 7 more days, March 25th. Anyway, I hope you all liked the trailer there. Jumping back to questions. It is not out now! It's not out now! No! What have I done? Just kidding. All right, Kojuhan, are there new dev-made mods like stewards have dev heads? No, unfortunately, we did not make any new mods for this release. I'd still like to, so if I come up with a good idea, maybe I'll try to make one personally. It's worth mentioning, it's worth talking about mods briefly. With this update, we are like majorly changing the game engine, and so the base game is going to get patched with, some of these features we've been talking about. A couple of them are going out to all players. There's also a number of like balance changes that are going out to all players, and the kind of support for the Last Divinity DLC is going into the base game. It can cause incompatibility with existing mods. So we've been trying to work with the existing mod authors, especially for all the popular ones that I'm aware of at least, to make sure that their mods are compatible with the update. But there's some chance that some mods won't get updated either right away or even ever. And so as a kind of like heads up, if you run into any problems running the game after updating and you have mods installed, you might want to try uninstalling them from the workshop outside of the game, just as a test to make sure that that's not what the problem is. Unfortunately, at Shiny Shoe, we don't control how the mods are made really, so we can't fix them ourselves and ensure that they're all like up to date. So yeah, just as a heads up, something to be on the lookout for in 7 days when the update comes out. I'll mention it again on our next stream. Beolove FFT, sorry if I butchered that. Question, why is the score during each round of Hell Rush so weird and not exactly reflective of the actual score? Any work to fix that? Well, I'm not 100% sure what you mean. If there's definitely a bug, we would want to know about it. The way my memory, and this is from discussions quite some time ago, for how the scoring works in Hell Rush, in terms of like how it's sent around to other players, is it gets updated 2 times. Once at the end of battle, when a player finishes a battle, we send your score to everybody else. And at the beginning of the next battle, we also send your score to everybody else. Because, if you spend coins in between a shop or something like that, that can technically lower your score overall for the end. So that's my memory, is that we send it out at those 2 times. There's definitely like the chance that somebody's cheating. We ban players who cheat in multiplayer. So if you see some score that's like ridiculously high really fast that seems out of whack, that could be what's going on. But if there's something specific, I highly encourage you, if you see something that looks wrong, report it. Report the bug basically. And the best way to do that is to press the F8 key to send feedback and say like, hit that if you're playing Hell Rush, just hit the button, be like, hey, scores look wrong, and then hit submit just real quick, and that'll send us some information that could help us look at it and get to the bottom of the issue. All right, Mars Greek God. Question, is there any lore reason there can't be a group of demons outside the circles of hell? Great question. Unfortunately, I don't know the answer. I don't see why not. I mean, this is in a kind of original universe, right? So we could expand it in different ways. I think it would be like, it's nice and tidy from my perspective if like we had a clan from every single one of the Rings of Hell, simply because that, I don't know, pleases my engineering-minded brain or OCD brain or whatever you want to call it. It's like, yes, everything, there's a one-to-one mapping, but there's no reason why there couldn't also be other places where the denizens of hell come from. So, I don't feel restricted there in any way. All right, Kojohan says, do Wormkin fully support googly eyes? Could it be shown just to be sure? Good question. They should. Whether or not we have like tweaked the position on every single unit or not, I don't know, but we could show it. And speaking of, why don't we go over to the game right now? Let's turn on googly eyes before we do anything else. Let me rearrange my setup here a little bit so I can see the questions. Okay, so... see, everything looking good here? Yep. All right, where is it? Other, turn on the googly eyes. Let's see if we can find any bugs. If we find any weird bugs with googly eyes on Wormkin, we still got a few days to fix them. All right. So, I think I mentioned this earlier. I did, right at the beginning. We are going to be continuing a run that AmphitSF set up to look at The Last Divinity. When I streamed last time 2 weeks ago, some folks asked to see the Last Divinity battle to see what had changed since the prior public test in January. So happy to do that. Now, I did not personally play this run, so I don't know what's in the deck. I don't know what artifacts it has and so on. So we're going to need to look at that together to kind of get a sense of what our strategy is going to be. And then we can look at the Last Divinity to see exactly what's going on with its stats currently and how it's all tuned. And then we'll go and try to win the battle together. Sarcastic Panda 101 says, if you had to choose one of these two options, would you rather have a third champion for each clan or just more new clans in general? I think I'd go for a new clan. Yeah, just to explore kind of greenfield new design space, like with a new thematic kind of gameplay connected thing for that clan to do. So I think there's probably more avenue for exploring new types of things with a new clan in terms of the breadth of the game design. All right, Spacesuit Spiff says, any chance of Cultivate getting tweaked to not pick morsels? I don't like. There is a balance change to the sentient coming in the update for all players. That I think was already in the public test, but I don't know if that particular change is in there. If anybody in chat knows, let me know. I don't personally have a strong opinion on that, but it seems interesting to consider, so we should have a chat about it. All right, well, let's look at this run and continue it. So we've got an Awoken Melting Remnant run. All right, with Exiled on the Allied clan. We are at Covenant 15. Remember, this is something we've talked about in the past, but a reminder if you hadn't seen this information, we did retune Covenant 10 and 20. So 10 is in play here. It's now Ember Drain 1 to the first unit played on the top floor each turn, and not Dazed. And the point and the reason behind that change was to try to make the impact of it I guess, more impactful, more consistently across all possible combinations. Like with Daze, that hurts certain strategies more than others, but Ember Drain hurts all strategies somewhat equally. It's kind of more the thing, or at least much more closely. All right, we're at the Frozen Heart. We have 120 pack shards. If you don't know what these are, this is a new currency that exists in the Last Divinity DLC. You need at least 100 of them by the time you kill Seraph to be able to face the Last Divinity. And the more pack shards you have, the harder the game gets, basically. So there's a scale for how challenging it is. And so we've got 120 here. So let's resume the run. And now once we get in here, we're going to have to look at our cards. We're going to have to look at our deck and our artifacts and everything. All right, we've got the Divine Intervention Sen. So Last Divinity has different status effects on each floor and gains 7 attack when it gains Relentless. All right. Okay. Oh, well, we're not playing Wormkin, so I don't know why I was saying turn on Googly Eyes to test it, but what the hell? We can play this run with Googly Eyes. All right, Last Divinity's got some nice Googly Eyes there. All these guys do too. Is Divinity tasty? Asking for Umbra, Kojohan says. I don't know, he looks kind of tasty. He looks like, I don't know, taste the rainbow or something. All right, so what's going on with this deck? Let's take a look. We got Cleansing Water. It's always a handy one. Proof Firebox. That's why we have 10 Ember right now. We've got Herzl's Compound twice, so we're drawing a lot of cards. Refracting Lenses. When a card with Consume is played, we get healed. We are at 111 health right now. We've got Thorn Fruit. In-game sound is off. Yes, sorry about that. Whoop. Hopefully, let me know if the volume is a problem. We've got Refracting Lenses. Okay, we talked about that. Thorn Fruit. At the start of a turn, gain Sting. I think we were unable to gain it. That's why it said hand is full. That's because we have Lost Luggage. We've got Sting Spells get plus 20 magic power, so the nice combo of Channel Heart and Thorn Fruit. And we have Lost Luggage, which is one of the new clanless artifacts in the DLC. At the start of the battle, draw until you have 10 cards. All right. Now let's look at our deck. So we've got the Rejuvenate Sentient. We've got a Giraffe. Engraft with Spell Chain. Spell Chain is a new upgrade from a place called the Divine Temple in the DLC. So when played, a copy of this card will be added to hand. The copy costs +1 Ember and gains Purge. It's a nice little combo there. We've got a Holdover Molded. That is nice. Pyregrow. Okay. We've got a Holdover Restoration Detonation, which is a very nice combo with the Rejuvenate Sentient also. Alright, and we've got our main 2 units here. What do we have? We've got the Shattered Shell, who has been merged with the Paraffin Enforcer. That's one of the big new features of the DLC also at a place called the Divine Temple. We've looked at this over the last couple streams, but in case you haven't seen it, you can combine 2 units into one, essentially merging the essence of the unit that gets sacrificed or destroyed into the other card. So we merged the Paraffin Enforcer's essence into the Shattered Shell. The tooltips on this one's getting crazy, but you can see what that did. The Paraffin Enforcer added Burnout 2 and Strike, apply Rage 3 to friendly Burnout units. So he's got Sweep, he's got Quick, he's got Burnout. We definitely need a way to give him more Burnout to stay alive, or we can reform him, of course. There's a Wicklash holdover in this deck. That is nice, definitely great for continuing to apply Burnout. We also have Steel Singer. Steel Singer is the new rare card in the Awoken Clan. So this is a new card in the DLC for the Awoken Clan, and it has been merged with the Animus of Will. So it's got Multi-Strike 2. Got 1 stack of Multi-Strike from the Animus of Will merge, and then another one from the Merchant Upgrade Frenzy Stone, so that's why he's got Multi-Strike 2. When he summons, he gains 80 max health, and with Rejuvenate, which is when he is healed, he gets +1 attack permanently, and this guy has been buffed up to 131 attack so far. So 131 attack times 3, that's pretty good. That's nice and strong. I love the Wildwood Custodian. This is one of the cards for me personally that, like, if I see it, I almost always draft it. I always try to tuck this guy away somewhere so I can keep getting my cards. So, okay, we've got a kind of nice sweeper here. We've got a big bruiser. We're going to be resurrecting guys a lot. Trying to trigger, rejuvenate. Okay. All right. Now, we've got a couple of guys here. So all of these guys they've got this kind of purpley, shiny crystals on them. So that's because they've been powered up by pack shards. So any enemy in the game, depending on how many pack shards you have, can become a powered up version. And so all of these guys are powered up now that we're in the Last Divinity battle. So it's a like stronger version of the overcharged apprentice because they've been powered up by pack shards. So he's got 20 armor already, and on incant gains 2 attack. Same here. And these guys, as clergymen, are 3 times 2 multi-strike and have 5 health. And let's take a look at what the Last Divinity does, just as a refresher. In each room, it does something different. So unlike all other flying bosses, the Last Divinity is in all 3 rooms at the same time. So the feet floor, so to speak, has 12 attack. The one thing that's linked is the health is linked across all of them. It's got Purify. After a debuff deals damage to this unit, remove that debuff. And Trample. It's got Trample here. In the middle floor, also has Purify, and it has multi-strike, so 9 times 2. And on the top floor, it's got 11 attack, and it has Sweep. So I've got to try to remember that we've got Sweep up here especially. That's the one that is easier to forget about. Is the Divinity itself powered by shards? It certainly looks so. I don't have lore tooltips on. You can turn them on real quick and see. Where are those? There. See if it says anything about that. A divinity still exists, one of space and time. If you are ever to threaten it, it will likely use those powers against you, never allowing you to truly reach your goal, instead repeating your struggle over and over and over. I've looked for a way to broker peace. I've studied all I can, but I've still yet to come up with a solution. And if history is any guide, it may be best that I am not the one to find it. All right, well, he's also got some chatter on the Last Divinity that's unique. That fits with the lore as well. All right, I'm going to turn those back off for now. Okay, so what are we doing here? What do we got in hand? We've got Animus of Will. We've got 10 Ember, which is great. He's high cost, so we can play him. Okay, I assume we're going to want to put Sentient in front as a frontline blocker to soak up damage and then just keep healing her for the explosive properties. I guess? Like, but we can't play them in the same room because we've got capacity issues. So we have no way to increase our capacity, really. So I guess the question is, I would probably, I think I'm just going to play the Steel Singer, in here, and then detonate him to get the free kill there and heal him at the same time. So let's do that. Okay, so he gained his 80 health. So this is a new unit from the DLC to answer your googly eyes thing. Some decent googly eyes placement there. Alright, I'm going to do this blast. Killed that guy. So all of those guys are dead. What else do I want to do here? I think I'm going to Pyrogrow just right now. Don't see any reason not to. And I'm frozen. Let's see if my camera comes back. If not, we'll go for the backup plan. This is a nice restore. Does have consume though, so okay. I mean, I think I want to put the Wildwood Sap on the Sentient to get the explosion procs. So let's put the Sentient there and sap it. I guess I'm going to cast Molded, too. Just, do I want it back in my hand next turn? Maybe not yet. I mean, nobody's going to be dead, so maybe I'm going to hold off on that. Should I maybe cast this now? Maybe I will. Okay. Alright. Okay. Now we're showing our Steel Singer is dead, so let's see how bad this is here. Well, we can do this. We can keep doing Restoration Detonation, which is a thing of beauty, so I feel like it's probably just cast that immediately and see what we got now. Okay. Can we do anything else? Should we just throw the draft in front? Soak up some damage? I feel like probably. So we've got a bunch of ways to reform him, so I feel like we should probably just do that. Alright, I'm going to do that. Gonna heal there. And then I guess I'm going to bring the Shattered Shell up too. Might as well. Let's try that. Alright, what is going to happen here? Okay, it's nice that we can spell chain that in Graph, but let me see, what alt can we do here? That seems good to get rid of him that way. What can we do here? We can cast a few of these, which is nice for chaining off of the Sentient. Now let's see if we can try to save the Steel Singer first, maybe? So let's cast Molded. Okay, we can. Is that going to cause any difference? Yes. Okay, good. Now we've got both these guys dead. Alright, I'm going to buff up the Shattered Shell a bit. I'm going to park the Custodian back here, I guess. And I feel like I want to heal him more, but at the same time, I also like getting damage on the Last Divinity, so... So we get even mini bosses from earlier in the game are starting to come out here. We've got a buffed up Discipled Inquisitor. 22 attack, 690 health, 120 armor, and trample. Ugh. That is rough. What else do I want to do here? Alright, let's go with that. Okay, 5 waves remaining. Yeah, this is tough. This is tough. I don't think there's any way we can keep the Steel Singer alive now. I don't have any way to hit these backline guys, unfortunately. And we've only got the one giraffe here. So, although we could bring him back, that's not really... that'll not even come close to protecting the Steel Singer enough to stay alive here. So, I assume that since he's dead, we should focus our resources... unless I'm not seeing something, we should focus our resources on just doing everything onto the Sentient to make sure that she lives. Like, that is good to make sure that we kill this guy. Maybe we should grind these down a bit, though. Should we even reform him right now? Probably not, right? Yeah, I don't think so. Alright. Oh, maybe we should have, just to make sure. Well, we can try to primitive mold first and see if we get who we want. Spacesuit Spiff. Spell chain on molded and IPW would get a lot of procs. Yeah. Alright, we've got Burnout 1 on this guy, though, but we've got our Wicklash here. So, where should we play him? Just play him down here again. We nuke him there. This guy's got Incant Armor 10. Let's get some hits on Last Divinity here. Top floor. Well, sorry guys, I didn't. We'll see what happens if that ends up backfiring. Cleansing water coming in handy there. All right, we've now got the High Priest of the Light. He's got Sweep. And he's got an added card. Can we kill him this turn? It would be nice if he didn't kill our Wildwood Custodian. Is that enough? Damn. I was hoping that was going to be enough. Didn't do the math. Well, we can bring back the draft, and we can not put him in the front. Or he'll survive anyways. Alright, there we go. There we go. Alright, that felt pretty good. Alright, let's get rid of this. Alright. We got a lot of nice rejuvenate damage there. I think I'm going to put some more burnout on my Shattered Shell. This guy seems more likely to die. This is annoying that we're going to keep drawing that. Sable in. I didn't do the math. I too like to play dangerously. Yes, yes. I often get myself in trouble just by YOLOing, so to speak. Alright, what should we do here? I want the 100 damage on that guy. Get rid of him. Good, we're still alive here too. See. Nice. All right. We are in Relentless. It looks like we have done it. I thought for sure I was going to be dead. I did not have the skills to get this done correctly. I guess we can thank Amphit SF for setting up a good deck. We don't want to take that damage. Sure, let's get this guy back. There we go. Oh, I've reset my save data so many times I'm getting the tutorial. Boom! Goodbye, Last Divinity. There's a little extra special animation you get at the end when you defeat Last Divinity. Looks like I didn't have the Googly Eyes achievement on this account. Oh, and here's something else we can talk about since we're here. So there's a new level of divine or mastery. It's called Divine Mastery. So when you defeat the Last Divinity, all cards are both mastered, which you may already have all or many of your cards mastered in the base game. You also get this Divinity stamp on them for an additional level of card mastery. So to truly master the game completely, you also have to Divine Master everything, which we will see the tracking update here. I reset my save data all the time, so we're certainly going to see a bunch of stuff happening here. All right, so there's a new logbook page also for the Last Divinity. Here we are. So it tracks all divine victories with all combinations, of which there's an insane amount of combinations now. It tracks your Wormkin progress, your Wormkin victories, your Wormkin mastery. There's one rare card in each of the original clans. Like I said before, that's what this is tracking. There's 5 new clanless cards here as well. And then we track how many of the cards in the game have you Divine Mastered. So if you've already filled out this base game page here, you got a whole new page to fill out in the Last Divinity DLC. All right. Cool. Any other questions that I can answer today before wrapping up this developer stream? Let me know. And shout out again to AmphitSF. Thank you for setting up that save game. That was a well-crafted deck. I enjoyed it. Just give it another second. I usually, as soon as I say, okay, well, there's no questions, I'll wrap it up, and then boom, I get 5 more. Okay, here we go. ZYZZY Vivification. What is the cutest morsel? Well, to answer that, we're going to have to go back to game view. And I'm sure this is a subjective opinion here. Let's go to Umbra. Let's go to units. Okay, which is the cutest morsel? For me, it's probably... probably the Excavator, actually. I was debating between the Excavator and the Jeweler, but I think the Excavator is like, kind of looks like he's struggling more with that thing, but also taking care of it, like cradling it like a baby. So, you know, I'm a dad, so maybe it's that kind of like parental instinct. It's like, oh, he's babying his little rock. What do you guys think? All right, Chaos Stripe. What are you looking forward to most in the update? Well, I mean, I know all about it and have played it and know the content and so on. So for me, it's really seeing the community's reaction and hoping that people love it, right? It's always a nervous time for any game developer when you're about to release something new and something big, that you just really hope that people are going to like it. So yeah, that's what I'm most looking forward to, is seeing people's reactions. And I've got my fingers crossed that they're going to be positive. So that's what I'm most looking forward to. Mr. Spuddles asks, how will the DLC work with Game Pass? So if you are a player on the Xbox family, you may have gotten the base game via Game Pass. That is definitely an option. We are in Game Pass. However, the Last Divinity DLC will not be a part of Game Pass. So if you want to play the Last Divinity DLC, you will have to buy that on the Microsoft Store. So that's how it will work. You will get the base game update automatically since you already have the game. But yeah, if you want to get the additional content, there will be a charge for that. Anything else? All right, Sarcastic Panda 101. Question. When encountered, what enemy, standard or boss, irritates you the most? Mine are Pyre Wings and Crystal Cloak. Crystal Cloak is definitely... one of the more annoying ones. And if you play dangerously, like Sabalin said earlier, like I do sometimes, and you're not paying a ton of attention and you're not thinking, or you forget, like you start the battle, you're like, oh, it's Crystal Cloak, and then you just forget that. And then 5 turns later, you're like, oh no. So it's probably Crystal Cloak for me. And yeah, it's just like, I really have to focus. I can't be like looking at Discord at the same time while I'm trying to play. That's where I get in trouble. And when I forget about stealth is when it really bites you. So I think for me, it is also the same. All right. And last thing, Darkest Tempest. Looking at it now, I have a good feeling I'm going to love it. Thank you. I hope that you do. Yeah, 7 more days, March 25th. I think at 10 a.m. Pacific is the time that we are targeting to have hit all the buttons to have it released. Once again, of course, that's the Last Divinity. Thank you all for being a part of the Monster Train community. I had fun on this stream. Hope you did too. I will see you in 1 week. Until next time. Bye.